What's up, Mizzou Nation? Welcome to another episode of Making Mizzou, sponsored by 360 Vodka on the Kansas City Sports Network. I'm your host, Martin Rucker, my co-host, Tommy Saunders, and today we got in the building the big 9-9. I don't know if it's the real 9-9. Maybe he'll address that later on. But we got the 9-9. We got the 9-9 in the building.
No, let's go.
Big L. Lorenzo Williams, baby. What's up, Zoe?
What's good? Just moving and shaking, like some people do. You know what I mean? Trying to catch the wind on my back so I can get rolling. You know what I mean? So I can run fast. That's it.
There you go. You get some wind in the back. You give it to Tommy. He might be able to run fast too.
Tommy, I'm still faster than you, probably.
That's crazy because I did more 225 reps than you, and you weighed 300 pounds.
You had an extra year.
Oh,
I scored more touchdowns than my senior year. I scored more touchdowns than the starting receiver scored. How is that possible?
Where is this show going? Oh my goodness!
Okay,
30 seconds in.
You know, like when you get challenged, and you know the thing about when you talk stuff to people, like this stuff is not true. You know, like
tell me how many touchdowns you scored my senior year?
Your senior year?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
1. How many did I score? 3.
How many I have my senior year? 7.
I don't know. I wasn't there to compete, so why does that matter? It don't matter.
Man, this is fantastic. So, man, the Tigers this year.
Hey, Tom, you ran 4.7, right?
Listen, hey, all I'm gonna say is
you are a great player, man. I love watching you play, man. You're amazing, Tommy. He's one of the best I know that's doing it, man.
If I was 300 pounds, I would bench press an ungodly amount. But I was a receiver at 204, and I benched more than you, max and 225.
What?
So how can you hold? You know, the gap. How can you hold your spot? 5'15"?
Damn. Okay.
5'15". Okay.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, all right.
We appreciate facts on this show.
I give credit where credit is due, man. That's a great job.
That's all I'm saying. I don't know how you can be great at your job when somebody's just so much stronger than you.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to get 21 sacks.
That's on your job.
Man. I tell you, so these 21 sacks was really hard to get, man. It was really tough. You know what I mean? Not a lot of guys can do that. You know what I mean?
So, I commend you for being undersized and apparently
undersized and weak,
but still figuring out a way to get 21 sacks. That is fantastic.
I love giving insight to what it goes on in the locker room. What really goes on?
This is it.
Like, oh no, let's go.
Right. Man, it's great to see y'all, man. Great to see y'all.
But honestly, for real, I think that comes out because we beat them so much. The defense so bad in practice, and so I think there's a lot of hostility. There's a lot of resentment.
Here we go.
Built in. So you know, like, hey, a lot of times you have this buildup inside of you that just comes out. And you don't really know that it's there, and then something triggers it. And so
I need somebody else in this podcast with me, man. I can't be on here by myself with y'all two, man. I need somebody else
to do us a favor, and he'll be getting roasted.
Hey, we're just trying to have a nice, subtle conversation, see what's going on. But hey, I understand why.
Here's the thing: I didn't know. Yeah. Obviously, we didn't know when it was happening that we were playing against the number one offense in the world, the number one offense to ever play offense before. So. We just thought we was just sorry. You know, we was like, man, we're gonna suck. The defense is gonna be terrible. We're gonna be the worst it's gonna be. You know what I mean? And we're gonna cost us games. It's pretty much what we thought the whole time we was going through spring ball and everything. But you know, lo and behold, when we got out there and started playing against other guys, they just wasn't as fast as y'all, wasn't as good as y'all. Things didn't happen as quickly, so it was a little easy. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was really good, man.
Y'all turned into one of the best defenses as well, and one of the best defenses that Mizzou has ever seen. And so. Undersized, undermanned, we'll call it whatever you want. Y'all boys was balling over there, man. And 07 never would have happened without that defense. So, speaking of defense, woo! Give us your have you been watching the Tigers this year? What do you think of the Tigers this year? Give us a little update out of Zoe's brain on the Mizzou Tigers of 2021.
Man, I think the biggest thing, man, is just we got to be able to get to the quarterback, man. That's one common theme and factor, man, that always rings true. When you got successful defense, successful teams, man, guys can get to the quarterback, man. That's the one thing I think we lacking a little bit this year is being able to make negative yard gains. Taking people's neutrals and turning them into negatives. You know what I mean? Taking their positives, turning them into neutrals. That kind of stuff is a big deal when you're talking about defense in general. You know what I mean? Especially playing in the SEC. A lot of them dudes is packed up on the D lines. 8-9 dudes rotating, big size guys, and the Mizzou just got to get there. I think Coach Ringles is doing a decent job. He got to start getting real deep into that D line, man. That's when things get really successful, when you start causing negative yard plays, getting sacks, getting hurries, and pressure on the quarterback. It's just a common thing around good defenses. So that's the one thing I think we need to be focusing on a little bit going forward.
When you guys when we were there. We had our ups and downs as well, leading up to 2007, and that was on offense and defense. What were some of the things that you saw back then that contributed to our success? Like, what were some of those metrics or the feeling as we were getting better that we can look for in this team? Or are there any of those highlights that you see in this team that you say, I remember when we were there, and you can point to say, this is how they're going to be successful in the future?
Yeah, I think the one thing that it was a lot of different factors, man, that played into us being successful. I think the way the coaching staff changed as far as like their attitudes about the players and the player-coach relationships really changed, and that became the ongoing theme. Even with me coaching right now, it's kind of what I try to do, because it got to the point where we loved them to do so much, we just didn't want to let them down. What I mean? And everybody has something great to say about their position coach. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you right now, there was no way in the world I was gonna go out there and loaf or like not go as hard as I could and not do the things I was coached to do, because I didn't want to let Coach Cool down, didn't want to let Steck down, didn't want to let E down. You know what I mean? Like, Coach Ford, them dudes are all great coaches, man. So but we got to know them dudes on a different level. We just cared about them in a whole different way. So we didn't want to go out there and put something on film that they wasn't gonna be proud of. So as you get to know new coaching staff, that's kind of the biggest thing I think that. You got to lead with love and make sure them guys know that you care about them, because then they'll go out there and run through a brick wall for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not in that. I'm not in the locker room. We're not in the locker room. We're not in the meetings and stuff like that. But to know what's happening on that front. But it's going to take a little while to build that. You know what I mean? And the second thing, obviously in college, man, you got to go out there and get the best guys you can possibly find. I mean, I know it's a little different than people think. Well, it's just little Mizzou, but. Forget that, man. We're in the SEC, man. You gotta go get the dudes. You know what I mean? The dudes is gonna make it work. So I think the biggest thing when I'm watching the Tigers play right now is just they feel like they just young. They feel like they're young in the process, young in the game. They're not far away. They here and there has shown some flashes of being really good. You know what I mean? And then flashes of being really bad, which we went through that in 2005. You know what I mean? Second half of 2006. When we started off 6-0 and kind of fell off after that, but. I think that the overall, the biggest thing, and not even, I don't even know how to explain this any better than what I'm about to say, it is that I just don't think we was gonna let it go down like that. You know what I mean? That is
that is what it is.
I don't know another way to say that.
Going out like that.
Yeah, I mean, all of us decided to come back. We all had a chance to leave early. We all decided to come back, kind of at the detriment. I think I probably hurt myself more than any of y'all did, because I was leading. I mean, in every category. My junior year at defensive line, but when I came back, some other guys were able to go past me, and show up, but I didn't care. That didn't matter to me. You know what I mean? Like I cared about y'all, and we all cared about each other. We just wasn't gonna let it go down like that. I don't know if you remember that meeting we had in my house. We got the whiteboard out. I was cooking barbecue.
Oh yeah.
We was drawing up the circles and hey, this is what we ain't gonna do. This is what we gonna do. We can't let this happen. Can't let that happen. You know what I mean? So we wasn't letting dudes show up late to weights. We wasn't letting dudes. Just get by. We're not having their shirts tucked in. Like the littlest, bittiest things, man. We was on top of all that stuff, man. Coach didn't have to do none of that for us. We did it for ourselves. So all he had to do was coach us. You know what I mean? And,
right.
I talk to GP nowadays. It's super funny, man. I'm like, Coach, man, how you get these guys to go from just not very good guys to like good players? He's like, well, he says, oh, when you were here, man, you were 1 second competitor when I first got you. I'm like, 1 second competitor? Golly, dog. It's like, wow. He's like, then you became a 5-second competitor, and then we can coach you. We coach you. You know what I mean? So like, hey, you got to get them guys. It's a lot to do with the dudes in the locker room, man. Dudes really got to take. Yeah, they got to take it. They can't let the coaches be in control of that situation. Like I'm saying, like we had young dudes behind us, like Tommy, Steve. Them dudes was different cats, man. Like That's one thing I say about y'all. Y'all was so different when it came to being led. You know what I mean? Y'all wanted to be led. Y'all followed every directive we gave you, and then took it to another level at times. You know what I mean? Which really helped us out a bunch with that whole team camaraderie down from the top to the bottom was what we need to have to be successful. So, I mean, that's it.
Talk a little bit about bringing those guys in, the guys that we need. Like Mizzou wasn't good when we got there. That's just keep it real, right?
Yeah, you were asleep in the academic meeting.
Easy.
Martin Rucker.
But what was it like when Mizzou wasn't good? What made you go there? Like, what was like, let me buy into this?
Man, I tell you,
right now this ain't it, but it's gonna be by the time I leave.
I think my biggest thing, man, was that was the only visit I went on that they wasn't begging you to commit like every 5 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember asking Coach Pingle, like, you don't really want me to come here, man. He's like, what you mean? He's like, you ain't asked me to commit one time. He's like, oh, we don't do that here, man. You know, we want you to want to be here. And he gave me the whole speech. I'm like, all right, man, I think I'm going to come. You know what I mean? So half of it, me, to be honest with you, you know how young kids think, man. I was going to have a chance to play right away. I felt like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they wasn't going to move me to D-line. So that was one thing that one great selling point that they gave me. You know what I mean? Hey, let's start out linebacker. Like, all right, yeah, because I'm a linebacker. I'm not a D-lineman. I never put my hand on the ground. I can't do that. You know what I mean? So, you know, that was everybody else was telling me I was going to move to defensive end. I wasn't really feeling that. So having the chance to play early and, you know, because Mizzou was so bad before we got here, you know, quote unquote, you know what I mean? I don't think they was bad. They just wasn't rolling yet. But I felt it. I felt good about it. Me and J Ray kind of committed together. You know what I mean? We both wanted to go. You know, I don't know if I met you on the visit, but I remember being with Speaker and a couple of other guys, you know what I mean? They all kind of committed to Tyloo. We was all on the same visit together. So, you know, we just kind of decided, hey, man, if we all come here, we might got a chance to be pretty good. Yeah. Who knows? You know what I mean? Because all of us was pretty good at where we was at. You know what I mean? Except for me and you. I think everybody else besides me and you was winning state championships. Rugged. We was the only ones that had losing records. I see it here.
I was trying to win a game, let alone state championship. My gosh.
Everybody else coming to the big rings. Me and Rugged used to say, we the best players in this class because we're the only ones coming out losing seasons that's in here. You know what I mean?
And I got a class ring. That's about it.
That's about it.
So y'all got recruited because our school was good.
Right. I mean, but now, man, Mizzou, I feel like we said when we left, man, Mizzou stayed on top for 10 years. You know what I mean? That we changed the program for a while. So when they went to the SEC, you know what I mean, they still, you know, Coach Pingle and them still rolling. You know what I mean? They got an opportunity to go get some guys that we couldn't get when we was in the Big 12. You know what I mean? Like they playing the SEC, playing in the South, you could really get down in the South and go recruit big time players down there. But you know, the big thing I'm telling you, man, is if you want to be successful in the SEC, it's only one way to do it, man. You got to go get some D-line, O-line guys. They got to be big and nasty and tough and physical and just, you know, they can't have a lot of Zoes out there playing. You may have one Zoe, not a lot of them, you know what I mean? But you got to go get them dudes, man. They can change the line of scrimmage. That's kind of where it started.
True, you be at linebacker now.
Right.
Still faster than Tommy.
Still stronger than Zoe.
Speed kills, man. Speed kills.
So tell me about what you know, people are seeing it now is, you know, this back and forth, this competitiveness, talking stuff between offense and defense, right? Talk about what it was like, how competitive practices were, workouts were between offense and defense, and how do you think that contributed to the team's success?
Well, listen, man, I think obviously we all three of us know this, and everybody who was with us knows the greatness and the insight and the just, you know, so ahead of his time how that Coach Ivey was. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't think that people really even knew some of the stuff that we was doing in 2005, 6, and 7, like are just now getting hot in 2021. Yep. I'm going to strength and conditioning conferences as a head coach now. And people trying to teach me about, you know, velocity-based training. And I'm like, dude, I was doing this in 2006. Like, no, you weren't. Nobody knew about this stuff in 2006. I'm like, well, somebody knew about it. You know, Brian Mann and Coach Ivey came down and, you know, Coach Stone and all them guys made it hot. You know, we was out there doing the most. So, yeah, it's that in itself created the competition that we needed to drive ourselves. They created those, you know, the standards and the numbers. And I mean, I remember, you know how I used to write all our standards in blue. You know, if you can't hit this mark, you play for KU. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. We don't want to talk about that, but nobody wanted to be that guy. And then once we hit the standards, it's like, well, what's Tommy doing? What's Ruck doing? What's Spoon doing? Like, you looking around other guys, you know what I mean? It's getting up there with you, and I'm trying to stay a step ahead, you know what I mean? So then somebody pass you, and you gotta go try to catch them. It's just that environment in that weight room that Coach Ivy created, man, was just, it was second to none. You know, the intensity level of just a freaking Sunday morning lift. You know what I mean? Like, we coming after the game, you know, and hanging out with Ruck all night on Saturday, you know what I mean? And then coming
very well rested. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. And hydrated, 100%. Continue.
Well hydrated is correct, I think. Rested. I don't know so much about that, but depending on, you know, if 3 hours is good for you, then that's good for me. You know what I mean? So, but no, we coming in. It's competitive in a Sunday morning lift. You know what I mean? Like, it's everything we did was competitive, man. And the accountability feature that they added in there, where, you know, everybody got to start doing up downs, people not showing up on time, like just the littlest biggest things, man, that they could do to create competition and just, you know, the environment, you know. And then obviously that spilled over into the field, because now all of us have gotten bigger, faster, and stronger. We hitting harder, we running faster, we doing things at a high level. You know what I mean? I remember, to tell you the truth, man, Tommy Saunders is somebody I talk about on a regular basis with my teams for the last 13 years I've been coaching, man, because it's been dudes that kind of give me the whole, like, well, I'm a sophomore, so I can't play. You know, I'm not going to try hard at practice and that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, listen, I know a dude who literally took a butt whooping for catching the ball on Thursday because you know what I mean, and was telling us straight up, bro, like, I'm not dropping the ball, like, I'm getting a scholarship. Like, that was one of the most inspirational things I think I've been a part of my life, just watching Tommy earn a scholarship, man. And I was so happy for you when you got it, because it was just, I mean, we seen you go from a walk-on cat that probably shouldn't have been a walk-on, you know what I mean? You should have been a scholarship guy to begin with, to just dominating every single thing that you did, man. Like, you know, you ain't, you know, I'm faster than you. You return the punch, you know what I mean? So all the things, it was just a lot of things that you did, man. That was just solid. But again, bringing people in like Tommy and Steve, you know what I mean? Like, just the cast that just want to come in and compete, man. They didn't really care about nothing. They didn't care about no drip. They didn't care about what they look like, with, you know, no draft status, none of that kind of stuff. They just coming in to compete, man. Just coming to work, you know. And that was all the guys that was underneath us, you know what I mean? So when it was our turn to be seniors, man, it was easy to lead them dudes. They wanted it. They wanted to be great. There wasn't no question what they was there for. So it was just, you know, we just got to tell them the right thing to do and show up. Pretty much what we did.
So you're coaching football now. Walk us a little bit through that journey of after, you know, you left Mizzou, and I believe you were in Springfield for a little while, and now you're in Oklahoma. Talk about what led to, one, you being a football coach, because you was always entrepreneurial. The man had snow cone stands and selling wristbands and T-shirts and all the things. And then all of a sudden, hey, man, I'm going to coach football. So walk us through a little bit of that transition and how you got to where you are and how things are going.
Yeah, you know, I had the fun zone in Columbia for a little while, you know what I mean, for a couple of years, and that, you know, that did really well until it didn't, you know what I mean. We had to step away from that deal, but in that process, Phil Pitson hit me up about coming to work at Alliance with him. So I went down there and worked with him and just fell in love with it, man. The first 2 years, fell in love with the situation, man. Pretty much how it went down. So I was okay with selling all the business and everything, just moving on to go coach. You know what I mean? I started at Alliance, and I went to Central High School for 4 years. Helped turn that program around and, you know, and build up a big, you know, build a good program there, and got an opportunity to come back home to Oklahoma, man. So it's been, you know, I still own a daycare down here, just so you know. You know, we own a daycare down here. So me and my wife own a daycare down here, making great money, doing great things with that deal. It's good system, but, you know, we always try to be a step ahead of the deal. But this coaching thing, man, is kind of in me. You know what I mean? I don't know, when I was at Mizzou, man, you know, after Aaron died, we had that whole situation where we had to, you know, I had to find myself a little bit, and, you know, what kind of leader I wanted to be, what kind of person I wanted to be. You know what I mean? That kind of took me to a whole different journey in life type deal. You know what I mean? So I knew I wanted to be a coach. I just didn't want to be broke. That's first of all. And then I didn't want to be like, you know, not being able to provide for the family and do what I want to do. So, you know, after that, you know what I mean? I had a lot of good coaches growing up, but it was just in me, man, to just go out here and just try to help kids and lead as many kids to Christ as I can. And that's pretty much my mission on a daily basis, is get up and be the most godly guy I can be, you know, to help these kids get to Christ. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me about how you've incorporated what you've learned at Mizzou into your coaching strategy now, how you're motivating your kids, because all the stuff that, you know, you named that Coach Ivy and Coach Pico did is like, for the most part, most of the programs are doing all of that stuff. But there's, probably 10% that's different, that you're actually getting kids to engage and take that next step and get that next effort. So what are you doing that's trying to get them to take that, that next step outside? Like, that's kind of how I looked at it for me, was like, everybody's doing this normal program stuff. Everybody's catching balls. Everybody's lifting. And so for me, like, I get motivated on days that it's raining. I'm like, oh, nobody's running routes today. I'm going to go run 100 routes. I'm going to go work outside and go extra, because I know this is a day that I can get better than everybody else. I know for sure that only about 3% of people are working out today outside. So what are you doing that's different, trying to incorporate with your players?
Yeah, high school wise, man, it's hard to find guys like that these days, man, to be honest with you, man, because a lot of kids, they got a lot of stuff that hurdles, stuff that we didn't have to deal with when we was kids. You know what I mean? We didn't have a lot of cell phone access. I mean, it wasn't social media, wasn't hot like it is right now. A lot of kids just play football for the likes. They don't even really like the game. They just want to have a highlight tape. You know what I mean? Yep. So they definitely don't love it. You talking about a person like Tommy Saunders, man, who's motivated to do 84,000 push-ups in the summertime, man. Like, that kind of stuff ain't something you see every day. You know what I mean? So I constantly try to tell them, like, I give them everything we got. You know what I mean? The biggest thing, man, I try to lead with love the most I can, because, again, the love ain't changed. You know what I mean? The game has changed, the numbers change, people change, but love don't really change. You know what I mean? So when the kids know you love them, they're gonna do whatever you want. You know what I mean? They're gonna go hard for you. They're gonna do the extra work. They're gonna put the extra stuff in, because they don't want to let you down. And they see me up here working every day. Like, I'm still the same person I was when we was in school. Like, I don't go home. I don't even know. I got a couch. I got a futon over here that I sleep on a regular basis, because I'm up here working so much. But they see me up here all the time. Like, they ain't never a time they coming up here because Zoe ain't here, and they know that look like. I run out. I come here and run my mile every couple of days. Like, Tommy tried to get me to do a mile a day. I used to do it, could do it, can't do it no more. But it is what it is. You just got to show it. You got to be the prime example of it. You know what I mean? And they got to follow you. It's kind of like one of them deals. Yeah, even now you can lead them to drink, though. You know what I mean? So they got to want to drink the water. Like, it's easy when you got a lot of good kids. It's a lot of kids who, like, have an opportunity to go to the next level, because they see you as somebody that they want to be. It's like, hey, you've been all the way to the top. Like, I'm trying to get there. So how'd you get there? And I'm like, I did this. I know a dude who did this. I know this. You know what I mean? Like, I got a sophomore tight end now. I already put on some Rucker highlights. I mean, y'all kind of got some about playing. Like, but I'm gonna tell you what this dude was doing. Like, he was doing X, Y, Z the third. That's how he got to where he was at. You know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of insight and stories and, like, witnesses and people that I know that's good that you can go look at and say, hey, I can turn this tape on from 2007 to say, Tommy Saunders, man, this dude was the most amazing workout guy I've ever met in my life. You know what I mean? This is what he used to do. Most of the kids like, there's no way I can do that. Like, well, it is a way you can do it. You just got to want to damn do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to do it, you're going to get it done. I mean, there's no try. You either do it or you don't do. So let's go out here and make it happen. So we try to take the words out. I got the biggest thing, I just got my no excuse board made. So we can't have no excuses around here.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Oh, snap.
Hey, no matter how valid.
It's real out here.
Never changes the form.
No matter how valid. No matter how valid it still holds true to this day, man. So it's just the lessons we learn, man. I'm just passing them down pretty much.
So what's the goal, man? You want to coach college? You want to coach pro? You just want to do it for the love of the game and coach high school for the rest of your life? Career.
Man, listen, I love the game. I love the game. But really, man, the only reason why I'm coaching high school, because I love coaching high school too, man. It's nothing like seeing a kid go from 14 to 18. You know what I mean? Like, go from a little dude, freshman, who don't have a clue, which way is up, to seeing a dude walk out of your program, being a man and having the opportunity to go play at the next level. Or, I got electricians and plumbers and, car audio guys. I mean, I got all kind of stuff going on with guys that graduated here. I got multiple military dudes, Navies, Armies, Air Forces, Coast Guards, all kind of stuff, man. So, when you start getting into people's lives, you know what I mean, and really getting able to change what their life is, you know what I mean, that's kind of my biggest goal, because I didn't have a great great situation growing up, didn't have a dad around, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Me and Tommy always got some common ground and some things, you know what I mean? But I just try to make sure them dudes know for sure, man, like, you got to be a great dad. When I see guys having kids now, I had a kid make it to the NFL for the first time. One of the kids I first coached when I was in Alliance, that was great. it's just those kind of things kind of start to pop up as you've been in it for a long time. You start seeing that thing. But, obviously when my daughters graduate from high school, because you can't leave them by themselves when 13, 18. They gotta be around, you know what I mean? When they graduate from high school, I like to go to college and start working to the next level, you know what I mean? Try to see if I can work my way up. The curse I got, man, is I'm a D-line guy, you know what I mean? There ain't a lot of D-line guys doing it, being head coaches in the next level. So you got to have some good ends with some people, you know what I mean, to have a chance to get in and be a coordinator and work your way up from position coach to a coordinator and have a chance to go be a head guy somewhere. But it's a long road for D-line guys. The quarterbacks get it easy. The linebackers get it easy. Safeties and stuff get it easy. But some of the other position guys don't really get it as easy as other guys do. So you got to prove that you're smart. You got to prove that you can be in the room with the best guys around. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be able to do again. The competition ain't never gonna leave my heart. You know what I mean? So it's kind of where it's at for me. You know what I mean? I want to go compete at the highest level I can, and get a chance to do that.
Man, that's great how much you're pouring into these kids. And kind of on the topic, I want to know kind of how are you taking the same things you implement with your team into parenting and parenting your kids, right?
Ooh.
It's
come on.
It's
you talking real out here today, ain't we?
Come on.
Well, one thing I think it's really interesting. I think it's interesting to me is like, we go in our separate ways after college. We learn all these skills. It's all about us. Okay. We're self-absorbed. We're trying to go after, we're trying to reach our goals. All of a sudden you get a wife. Okay. Now you got to look out for her and make sure she's on her own path to reach her goals.
You got to coach the wife up too sometime. I got to coach my wife up.
You know what I mean?
How's that go? Let us know about that.
Yeah, let me know how that goes. Yeah, let me know how that goes.
Yeah. Nah.
Tell me how many times she volunteered to read the no excuses board.
Yeah.
I just point to it, baby. Go get on that.
Exactly. Yeah. That board will be out the window.
With you behind it.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
So anyways, how are you implementing that now that you have kids? You don't have an after practice like everybody gather up. We're going to talk about no excuses. Everybody gather up. We're going to talk about nutrition. Like, how are you going about implementing some of those learnings to your kids?
Man, I think the biggest thing is first thing you gotta do is you gotta have a partner that's on board, man. I think my wife is awesome. Like I have had to coach her up a little bit and just kind of get her to understand, like in this sports thing, man, like it ain't a lot of room for error here. You know what I mean? It ain't like if you give the kids a soft place and land, they're gonna take it. So don't be the soft place and land for them. They can't hear from me one thing and then go to you and hear something else. You know what I mean? So if your partner's on board, you got a good chance. You know what I mean? You got a good chance of doing a good job parenting. I think with my kids specifically, my daughters play softball. They play basketball. They about to start track this year. My son plays 4 sports. You know what I mean? So it's really, to me, about having fun and giving maximum effort. Like if I can get them to understand what maximum effort is, you do that, and then they have fun doing it. Then the next part of that comes to be like, well, I want to be good at this. So how do I do? When they start asking the right questions, you give them the right answers. You know what I mean? So, whenever my daughters come to me and say, Dad, I need to lose some weight, what I do? Like, well, you need this nutrition conversation we're about to have. You know what I mean? Like, it's really nothing about what you're doing working out wise. You're going to do that anyway. But if you eat the right way, things are going to happen for you. You know what I mean? So she takes that lesson. And then my daughter wants to get stronger. So I'm like, all right, first of all, can you do a push-up? Can't do a push-up. I can't do nothing for you. You know what I mean? So let's work on getting 10 push-ups in the world. Let's work on air squats and control your body. Just be a good athlete that kind of way. You know what I mean? My daughter, I got a daughter that pitches, you know what I mean? I got another daughter that's a power hitter. They both hit the ball pretty well, first baseman and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things that go into that, a lot of work that goes into that. Luckily, my pitcher daughter is OCD. So, she don't need a lot of guidance. She's going to be out there in the garage working on, whatever she can work on, as many days she can work on. And my other daughter, she had a goal in her head. She's going to get 200 swings in a day. So I told her about Tommy Saunders. I'm like, man, Tommy Saunders should do 200 push-ups a day. You know what I mean? Try to get 84,000. I mean, I'll tell you, Tommy, I use you a lot, man. Rucker, I don't use you as much, but Tommy, I use you a lot, though, But no, they go out there and work, man. So that's the biggest thing with the kids is you got to understand. For parents especially, man, you got to be a great parent, man. Like, I deal with parents from youth league all the way to high school, man. And I think the biggest problem with parents is they want to do something. Some of them want it more than their kids want it. A lot of them get embarrassed by their kids not playing well, which you can't do that, you know what I mean? Because it ain't about you, you know what I mean? You really got to be a so selfless person to understand that your kid is going through this journey. You got to help them do it, but you can't do it for them. So unless if they're going to go out there and make it happen, they're going to go out there and happen on their own. When they start having success, they understand. Like when they go out there and get beat, they be like, man, I lost because, we didn't lose because of rest. We didn't lose because of bad coaching and that kind of stuff. You lost because you didn't play good. You know what I mean? Like this is a you thing. So you can fix this easily. Like it's an easily fixable deal. But, we talk about a lot of stuff. I talk about a lot of stuff with my kids. And the crazy thing is now that they get in junior high, I can hear them talking to their friends, and the stuff they say to their friends is stuff that, hey, you can't have no excuses, man. You can't do that. You got to go hard every time. The effort got to be maximum. Your enthusiasm got to be high. Like all the things that we talk about on a regular basis when we was in school together, they talking to their friends about it now, which is awesome. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of one of them deals where you just pass it down. And then whenever somebody is not like that, they get really confused, which is one thing Coach Pinkel had told me when I left school. He was like, man, listen, you're going to run into a lot of people that ain't going to be like you. They didn't go through the things you went through. They don't know the lessons you learned. All of the simple things you think is just part of life. They don't even know where to start with that. So you just can't let them people bring you down. You got to stay level and stay up where you at and make them come to you. So now that my kids are now doing that to their teammates. So they're making them come to them. Like they're making them understand like, hey, there's no excuses. Go up there and make it happen. Were you working hard enough to make it? Do you deserve to make a play right now? Did you work hard enough to make this play? Do you work hard enough to get this walk-off home run or this to strike the first down when you need to or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So that's how they take their message to their friends. It's like, hey, listen, we got to work harder. So when we get in these moments, we are ready to win. Like we are prepared for that. So I just been super proud of my babies, man. They super smart kids. They all straight A students. They could be doing a lot of things, man, but they really digging the sports thing. So I'm gonna just stick here with them and see if I can make it happen.
You said your son is playing 4 sports, and if I remember correctly, one of the sports that you did when you were younger was like maybe ballet or dance.
Why you bringing up those stuff, man? Golly.
Is your son following?
That's not one of the sports that he's taking. No. See, that was all because of a girl I was messing with at the time. You know what I mean? I was trying to impress her, so I'm like, I'm gonna go into this ballet class, and then it ended up actually helping me out a lot and shot put in this. So,
hey man, listen, you clean it up however you want. It's cool if you took dance.
Yeah.
But y'all know I can dance though.
Different folks.
I can still dance.
Do whatever you need to do.
I can still dance. You know what I mean? Yeah. No. One of these days, you're gonna ask me how I got such sweet feet. I'm gonna say, man, you're gonna take this ballet class and teach you how to do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, he played football, basketball, wrestling, and baseball. Is what his thing is. So.
And brag on your kids a little bit, man. We hear they're pretty decent athletes. Talk about them a little bit, man.
I mean, I was scrolling through Facebook. I saw him pulling a truck in a video. Literally, I saw him pulling a truck. I was like, what is going on? I know how hard that is.
Yeah.
And so how old is your son?
He just turned 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So he was watching the draft. This is how that whole thing started. He was watching the draft. I think he was 7 too when he was pulling the truck. He was watching the draft and he was like, Dad, whenever I get drafted, I wanted to show some cool videos of me, like when I was a kid. So I'm come out here and videotape me pulling this truck. I'm like, what? What are you talking about, man? Like, but I mean, like, he went out there and pulled the truck. He only could move it an inch, you know what I mean? But now that's his goal every year. On his birthday, he want to pull the truck and see how much further he can get the truck. You know what I mean? He don't forget it either. So I didn't take the last video, but he started making that thing move a little bit. It's get a little scary, you know what I mean, when it comes to the 9-year-old moving trucks and stuff outside. But yeah, the girls, man, they rate pretty high. I just got a couple phone calls about them being ranked pretty high. Livia's ranked in the top 100 pitchers in the 27 class, and Brill's ranked in the top 50 in hitters in the 27 class. And then Lennox is Lennox. I don't even know how to describe him right now because he's so much bigger than everybody else that he's around, you know what I mean? So I got him playing 2 years up in football, so he's not the best player on the field right now, you know what I mean? But he's pitching. I think he's pitched 2 no-hitters. He hit about, 16, 17, 18 home runs, something like that. Funny story, whenever we had a tornado warning or tornado sirens went off, and Brittany was telling the kids, you pack a little bag of your most important things so we can go to the storm shelter if a tornado goes off. So, it's like 2:00 in the morning, sirens go off, we jump up, I'm checking the radar and watching the news, and everybody's going to the shelter. He come walking around the corner butt naked with his little bag. I was like, what's in your bag, man? He got 7 or 8 of his home run balls and all of his championship rings that he got. That's the most important things to him.
That man ain't had no draws. That man
no
had
draws.
baseball.
I said, you didn't wear no clothes to storm shelter. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta go put some clothes on. Like, yeah, he a different cat,
That's
man.
hilarious.
He played guard and nose guard in football. He pitch and play catcher and hits the ball a mile in baseball. You know what I mean? So he don't really wrestle in tournaments yet because he weighs 171 pounds. So he's so big that he be wrestling like grown people. So I got him in wrestling practice right now. So he just do that. And then basketball, he on a pretty good little basketball team, Heat Hoops. You know what I mean? He out there looking like Shaq. Baby Shaq out there. You seen him on the blocks down there. He wore a size 10 and a half, 11 men's shoe at 9 years old. You know what I mean? So he gonna be pretty big, man. I'm hoping so. So that way,
you in about 3 years.
Short.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna tell me how short I am.
Yeah, you're gonna be taller than you in about 3 years, man. You just wait.
It might not take that long. Shoot,
for real. You might have thought Chase did.
Right.
So,
I think Real got Chase beat right now. Shout out 10, baby. You can do a 10. See you out there making it hot. Man. Still out there making it hot, ain't he?
Yeah. Oh,
that dude was special, man. Shit.
Yes, he is.
Oh, sorry, can't cuss. He was special. Special guy, man. Special guy.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Zoe, I'll tell you what, man. We appreciate you coming on the show. Tommy Saunders, you got anything else for Zoe?
Let's see. Man, no, I think that's it, man. Just really wanted to talk about if you have anything else to say about just your time at Mizzou and the players you played with. Like there was a special group of cats there. And during that time, competitors, talented, but they went the extra mile. They did extra. You know what I mean? There was something special about that just doesn't come along. And I don't know if that's something that you can actually coach. So just, as we're in this, what would you say to, Mizzou team, coach? What do they need to do? Either turn the program back around to what do they need to look at for players that they're recruiting to get Mizzou back to where it was, and just on the competitiveness, that's really what we want to see. We want to see competitive every single game that we're out there.
I think I had a chance to go down to Alabama a couple of years ago, man, and watch Nick Saban do his thing. You know what I mean, and watch those coaches and those players. The big thing, man, that I just, when we was there, man, I don't think people understood, and I know we didn't know. We knew y'all was good, you know what I mean? But when you start putting these people's names on the piece of paper and saying, okay, how many All-Americans do y'all have on one team? How many all-conference players do you have on one team? How many, individual national award winner guys you have on one team? Like, nobody else that I know that played with me, that played anywhere around me, that was guys that played at other schools, can put the names on the paper that I can put on the paper in that 2007 group. You know what I mean? When you got Rucker and Chase out there, back-to-back Mackey winner guys, All-Americans, unanimous All-Americans, all-conference guys. You got, Will Franklin, J-Mac, Denario, Tommy, Jerry Perry. These dudes, the list goes on and on from the receiver tight end group. Then you got Tony, you got Jimmy Jackson, all them dudes who was just really good football players. Tony was a great dude in his own right. The offensive line guys with Speaker and Ty Lue and them cats was just, Big Shug, and it was just good. Everybody was good. Everybody was good. And defensively, we got better because we played against y'all every day. And every spring practice, I remember y'all whipping us so bad in them freaking scrimmages, man. Remember, at one scrimmage, we got y'all, though. We beat y'all 20.
Cheated, man.
Huh? It was raining outside. Don't act like you forgot.
You cheated.
It was in that thing. We won one.
Y'all cheated, man.
We didn't cheat. Which time I got a TFL? We TFL for the
y'all was cheating, man.
I tackled Tony Tip on the backfield on the goal line, man. We won 24-22. Don't try to take it away from us, man. It was
set up, y'all.
It was our one win.
You can have that.
It wasn't no setup.
Y'all
we got the white jerseys. That's what it was.
You can have that.
We spent a lot of time in them white jerseys my senior year.
Sure did.
Now, think about the battles we got into over a jersey, man.
Oh yeah, that was competition.
I don't ever remember wearing the black jersey. I never when I picture practice at Mizzou, I was always wearing a white jersey.
No, I'm trying to tell you, man. It was just. At the time that we was there, man. Guys that wasn't even highly recruited guys. You know what I mean? I don't think. I wasn't that highly recruited. I think Ruck was the highest recruit in our class. Then right behind him, I think Tony Temple was the highest recruit in that next class, and then obviously J Mac when he got there was a dude, but I don't think Denario had that many offers. Like Spoon wasn't a big deal. Will Moe wasn't a big deal. Like these are guys who just coming off. We maybe 1 or 2 offer guys is coming into being 8-year in the league veteran guys. You know what I mean? Like Denario could have been just
still
I don't even know what still should be playing right now if he wasn't injured. You know what I mean? He was a freaking like cyborg. I don't even know how to explain that dude.
That was different.
But it was just so many guys that I think that we all had a chip on our shoulder. So it was like, how can we? I ain't no 5-star guy, but I'm just as good as so and so over here at LSU. Watch me go out here and do this. You know what I mean? Like,
if you remember what we said, it don't matter how many stars you got, because when you cross them lines, we gonna knock them stars out of you.
Stars out. Because listen, we all Americans, baby.
We all Americans, baby.
We all Americans. We used to say that all the time. I don't care how many stars you got, man. We gonna knock them stars out, man. We was looking for them guys. We was looking for it. Like that's I think it was our biggest thing, man. Like the chip that we had on our shoulder was so big because people was telling us that we wasn't gonna be good. Mizzou was always gonna be terrible, you know what I mean? And then so we bring that chip into practice, and then all of a sudden the competition level goes through the roof. Like, and it's every day, man. I'm telling you, man. Tommy Saunders, man. Scout team Tommy. I'm only talking about starter Tommy Saunders. I'm talking about scout team Tommy Saunders, man. Was a different damn dude, man. He challenged us every day. He made us do how many plays over again. Like, dang, get Tommy out of there. Like, we just had to fight Tommy. Like, we just got to fight him. We got to get him out of here, man, because he can't keep catching this ball like this.
Well, that's the thing. It's like as a walk-on, it didn't even matter if a walk-on or whatever. I'm on scout team. I'm playing receiver. It's Thursday. They say defense is going to win. Hey, let the defense catch the ball or drop it or knock it down. I said, there's not a chance that I'm out here that I will ever not try to catch the ball with 100% effort. Yeah. I don't care. If you put me out here, you can leave me on the sideline. Cool. You can do whatever you want. You can make me do board. You can make me do boards afterwards. Y'all can fight me every time, and I will fight every single time. Not scared. But if you put me out here, I'm gonna try to catch the ball with everything I got. And I had to fight every single day. Every single day. Every day. Every day.
Like it's Thursday, Tommy. Drop the ball. No, I'm not dropping the ball. Dude, come on, man. Because we got to keep doing plays over again for this guy.
Oh, yeah, we down there in the offense. They like blow the horn. What are y'all doing?
The horn can't get blown because Tommy, we still on play 5
minutes long because y'all can't stop Tommy. He's the slowest cat that ever came through Missouri, and y'all can't stop him from catching the ball.
Dude, catch the ball, though, man. But nah. So what, when you ask about how to get, I don't know if you could ever recreate that with us. You know what I mean? Because we was just different cats, man. Like, the leadership that we had, I think the captains that year with me and Ruck and Pig and J Ray was just like J Ray. Like, think about a guy like J Ray, man. Like, how lead, man. Like J Ray was a different. It was just J Ray's still a different. I love J Ray. I talk to him at least once every couple of weeks, man. He coaching up at K-State right now. Mm-hmm. Love J Ray, man. That dude was different, man. He was off. Everybody know it. It ain't like a secret, right? He was off. And he was just like, all the times like J Ray's on the punt team and on Rangers, I'm like, dude, like slow the hell down. Like he didn't have no stopping him. But we had so many dudes that was like that, like just didn't have the word stop wasn't in our vocabulary. Like the word quit wasn't in our vocabulary. The words that's too much was never in our vocabulary. We didn't have those options. Like we knew what we had to do. We went out there and got it done. Now we had to go through each other a lot of times to get it done, but that just made everybody else better. So that's the thing you got to create. If you want to be great, man, you got to create that kind. You got to create an environment where the leaders can lead. You cannot have leaders leading and people telling them they don't know that, shut up or whatever, move on. Like everybody got to be willing to listen. Leaders got to be able to lead and be led. People got to be able to be led, and then you got to take it, man. You just got to take that. You got to take it, man. It's just we just took it. Like it wasn't. We shouldn't have been like we was ranked 10th in the Big 12 that year. I see in 07. Mm-hmm. We was not even supposed to be in the conversation at all, let alone be number 1 in the country, right? Yep. Like Mizzou wasn't on that list. And I'll never forget Coach Pingle talking to us after that OU game, man, was like, listen, man, I've never done this before. I'm never going to do it again, but we can't lose another game because KU's not going to lose. So if we want to win the North and get the Big 12 championship, we got to win every game. And I've never talked about it before, and I'm never going to talk about it again. Yep. That's it. We got to win every game. And he walked out the locker room. We all looked at each other, was like, we ain't practicing on Sunday no more for the rest of the year, bro. We got one in it, and that's it. And then we all said, okay, nobody was mad. Nobody was upset. We came out to work the next day, and then we put the pedal to the metal. You know what I mean? And we pedaled downhill on some guys' asses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I forgot about that. No, that was real.
That was amazing, man. That's one of moments. You know, I look back in time, like, you know, what do you remember? I remember that conversation in that locker room after that OU game, man, because that was, I thought that was so big of him to trust us so much, man, to give us that little nugget. You know what I mean? It wasn't a lot. It's just a little nugget. I mean, who would think that'd be something to motivate somebody? That's a little nugget.
Everything was one game at a time. You don't look forward. You don't look ahead.
For 5 years.
Yeah,
for 5 years, it was one game at a time. And that one time, he stepped out of that and was like, okay, this is it. Like, if y'all want to win the North, it's a special team. Y'all can do this, but we can't lose no more games. And we was all like, damn, all right. We ain't losing no more. Forget it. Let's go. You know what I mean? And we just went on the road right there and made it happen. But, you know, that's the thing, man. If you want to get back to that, man, you got to have this, just the right people at the right time, the right recruits. I mean, all of us was none of us was like the most highly rated guy, but we all had the highest rated motors, the highest rated the chips. The chips were so big. You know, I remember you really talking about Nebraska, like everybody thought you should have been in Nebraska. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm about to make my own path. I'm not my brother. I'm about to be somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I was the only football player in my family. Everybody else played basketball. So I'm like, man, I'm about to show everybody what, you know, I'm about to put Oklahoma on the map, show everybody what it do and what I can do. You know what I mean? Because all my brothers are superstars. I was just Xavier D'Angelo and Stevie's little brother. You know what I mean? I wasn't even in the group. You know what I mean? I'm like Tito. I'm the one in the back dancing. You know what I mean? But I'm about to step in the front. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has something. You know what I mean? Everybody has something. So we just took it, man. Chase. I mean, think about 10. Like, 10 comes in there, man. And the littlest, bittiest damn dude you ever seen in your life, man, trying to play some D1 quarterback. You're like, man, this dude is terrible. Like, he ain't gonna be able to play no football. Like, look at him. Look how little he is. He's big and he's round. He got fat. That dude throws one pass, and all of us look at each other like, oh.
So that's where I get it now.
But y'all know this, like, I ain't never gonna forget, like, 10 just being like organizing the 7-on-7s and organizing the throw-ins and all that. You know, y'all didn't even. I lived with you and didn't hardly even see you because you was throwing all the time. Like, y'all was at the school all the time. Tommy, you was up there catching all the time. Like, y'all just did that. That's what y'all did. So it became a staple of the program. Like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go here on Tuesday, Thursdays. We're gonna work out after we get done lifting. We're gonna work some more. We're gonna get on the judge machine. We're gonna go catch in the indoor. We're gonna. Right. I mean, ours was just, well, shoot, if they're gonna be out there doing 7-on-7, we're gonna go out there and do some pass rush. You know what I mean? Let's go out there and get on these bags. Yep. I mean, 43 sacks, you know, as a group. You know what I mean? Our senior year, bro. I mean, man, unheard of. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's just we knew what we need to do and we got it done. Like, that's it. It ain't a lot to it. You just got to do it. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but when you got a group of guys like we had, your options is real slim. You're either gonna do it or you're gonna get beat up. Or
no excuses.
No excuses. Right. I mean, Tommy, you know, we didn't really, you know, the get down and lay down crew. We didn't give people a lot of options. You know what I mean? Your option is to get it done, go home, or get beat up and go home. What is it? Like,
absolutely.
But,
well, and that's the thing is this, as you're talking and just kind of reminiscing about that, is like, we had such high expectations for ourselves. It's not like whenever coaches got on us, we were disappointed, like we let them down. It was like, we already let ourselves down.
Right.
You know, our expectations were so high, and we wanted to compete. We wanted to be great. You know, so the coaches were there to keep structure at, you know, practice and spring ball and stuff, but we were out there competing. I
mean, we was fighting every day, Tom. We was fighting every day.
Every day.
Ruck, I remember when you threw that pick at OU, bro, you was like, you apologized to me like 75 times in like 10 seconds. I'm like, bro, relax, man. You're like, no, bro, I can't do that. We can't do that. Like, man, we good, bro. Like, we're going to go get the ball back. Like, he was like, no, man. Like, you was just so hurt, bro. I'm like, but I mean, again, that's somebody who is the captain of the team that felt like he let the team down. You know what I mean? Like, that was a lot. You know what I mean? And especially the other thing too, the people, I mean, especially where we came from, like, Ruck, you wasn't the most like team guy when I first met you. You know what I mean? You was definitely Ruck. You know, this is about Ruck. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, everybody's about to come in here and have a T-Ruck time. That's what we're gonna do. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, man, just the evolution of all of us, man. We all grew up, man. All of us became men in that setting, man. We all of us took a step. You know what I mean? I was so proud of you when we was done. Like, just the stuff that you have been able to do in your life, man. You know what I mean? And stuff you're doing now, like. Y'all don't even, I mean, I just love my guys, man. It's every time I see y'all is great, but it's just I just so proud of y'all, man, for everything y'all do. Tommy, I mean, shoot, man, every time you call me with something, I'm like, Tommy got something else going on. Like, what is it now? You know what I mean? But always be successful, man. And then when you're not successful, you come right back in with something like we just all that stuff we learned when we was there, man. We learned how to fight through adversity. No, ain't no excuses, man. Park and read down, refocus. Let's go. Like the next thing is the most important thing. Like, and that is something I live by daily. It's a daily thing to me. Like, ain't no excuses. I either did it, I didn't do it. If I got it done, I didn't get it done, and we gonna move on. Let's go get it done. Whatever it is, the next thing, let's go.
That's one of the best lessons in sports to me is every play is a new play, and it doesn't matter whether the play before was good or it was bad. You still got a job to do because the clock is still running, and you still got to keep rolling. And that's one of the things that I realized once I got into the workplace that a lot of people don't have.
Nah.
And the accountability factor when things aren't going well either.
I mean, how many people you know in your life right now, man, something go wrong, they just do it like this?
Boy. Boy.
Nobody doing this. Nobody doing this. I mean, what can I do to get better? Where's my what do I do? Where do I put this blame at? I don't plead on nobody. It's on me. Like, we didn't have a good year this year, man. We didn't have a good year this year. I'm the head coach, man. It's on me. Like, I got to get it. We got to get better. I got to get these guys ready to play. Like, I remember Coach Pink used to say that all the time. I'm like, man, what is he talking about, man? We just went out there and turned the ball over 3 times and like missed all 20 tackles. Whatever. What is he talking about? It's on him. They ain't do nothing. You know what I mean? But he was teaching us how to be men. You know what I mean? Like how to take responsibility for things when things go wrong. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is how you do it, man. You know, there ain't no pointing no fingers. It's you. You get better. Like, you know, and the world ain't gonna change. They don't care about the labor pains. They just want to see the baby. You know what I mean? And that's it. So that's we live our life like all of us do, bro. Like, nobody I know that play with us don't live their life like that. And it's so weird when you meet people that ain't like that. You just kind of looking at these people like, man, really? Like, wow, man, how are you making it? How are you waking up in the morning? How you going to sleep at night blaming other people for something that you did? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it is what it is. You know, we that's how we made it. And I think they got to get that back in Mizzou, man. I know we trying to tie it all back around to that, but when they get that back, man, hopefully Coach Drinkwitz, man, got some of that in his group right now. Some guys he recruiting, going out and get some great leaders. He need to come to Oklahoma and get him a great D tackle. You know what I mean? They down here somewhere. They usually would turn the program around Oklahoma, get a great D tackle from Oklahoma, and then you can win after that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much what it takes. You know, to get you a great guy from Oklahoma. It's probably guaranteed you'll get yourself in the number 1 spot at some point. So
we'll send him to a ballet down there and see if he can't find a D tackle and a tutu. Come up to Mizzou. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Zoe, man, we really appreciate you taking the time today, jumping on Making Mizzou, sponsored by 360 Vodka with myself, Tommy Saunders. We'll have to have you back, man. Good luck next year since your season's over this year. And keep doing what you're doing, man. Yeah. MIZ.
ZOU, man. Great to see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all keep doing y'all thing.